Hey, what's up everyone? This is Snackbox. Hope you all are having an amazing day. Guys, in this video, I want to talk about my Nightmare Chimera run for this week because I completed a total amount of 18 trials, which is the absolute best I ever did on Nightmare. Last week, with the current Chimera changes, I did a run on Ultra Nightmare and I also uploaded a video on it, especially diving deep on the blessing for Lydia, how it helps with the trials. So feel free to check that out if you haven't seen it already. It really helped me a lot to complete a lot more trials, and I think it's really valuable. And there's also a lot of other information. So I'll put the video in the description below. Feel free to check that out. But in this video, I want to talk about this Nightmare run. So basically, I'm using the same team as in the Ultra Nightmare video. So the gear is pretty much the same. I only changed one little build on Nekmo, and I'm going to talk about that later. And I'm going to show you exactly what I did there and why I did it. And also, I want to highlight why this team can do 18 trials on Nightmare, but only a maximum of 17 on Ultra Nightmare. And yeah, I'm going to explain everything you need to know. So yeah, 18 trials, 269 million damage is not the best I ever did actually, but the amount of clash points was actually the best I ever got as far as I remember. 4.35 billion clash points, which means I need another 3.65 billion clash points to hit the 8 billion, which is kind of like my goal. And if I can maintain like 16, 18 trials while doing 8 billion clash points, I'm absolutely satisfied. So the reason why I can complete one more trial on the Nightmare difficulty is because on Ultra Nightmare, this trial right here needs me to place 10 debuffs and damage the Chimera while it is under 10 debuffs, and it must not be under block active skills. So in this team, I do have 10 debuffs in total, and that is including block active skills as well. Now on Ultra Nightmare, I need 10 debuffs in total, and it can, without block active skills, so I can't complete it. I tried to complete it actually by regearing my Nekmo into a toxic set, but the problem there was that he was filling up the debuff bar too quick. And even on the ramp form, sometimes the debuff bar was full and I wasn't able to place the fear or the true fear. And that cost me a lot of damage and trials as well. So it's really not ideal. I would have to retry it multiple times probably to get it done, because the chance for a toxic set to place the poisons is pretty high, and it really messes up the ramp form, for example. Also, sometimes I missed out on placing the weaken from Lydia because, I'm just stacking up the poisons. And with this team that I'm using right here, with Lady Mikage that is extending debuffs as well, it was really not ideal to put somebody in a toxic set. But I won't say that it's not possible. It just wasn't ideal for me and I didn't like it. Either way, on Nightmare, this trial requires us only to place 9 or more debuffs while you don't have block active skills on the Viper form. So here I can do it, but it is also very RNG heavy. And the reason for that is that I need to place the debuffs with Lydia's A3 in order to have 9 or more debuffs. That includes poison sensitivity, block buffs, and we have block active skills on the same skill. So that is kind of like the problem. What I need to happen there is that Lydia needs to extend only block buffs actually with Master Hexa and not block active skills. There is a 30% chance to extend the duration of any debuff, and if Lydia extends the block buffs debuff with this mastery, it's possible to do this trial. If this doesn't happen, it's impossible basically, because you will always have the same amount of turns for the block buffs and the block active skills, and then you need to debuff it. And eventually, which also happens sometimes, Master Hexa will proc on the block active skills. So it really comes down to your luck and Master Hexa proccing on block buffs. It doesn't necessarily need to proc on the poison sensitivity, because Lydia is extending the poison sensitivity by 1 turn every time she uses the A1. So it doesn't really matter for the poison sensitivity, but for the block buffs it does matter because she places both for 2 turns and there's a chance to extend those. So yeah, if block buffs gets extended, you can basically wait until block active skills runs out and then extend those debuffs with Lady Mikage. And I'm gonna actually show you exactly what I mean by that. So by the time we enter the Viper form, we already got 10 trials done, which is pretty good because the multiplier is already kind of high. And yeah, so you definitely want to go into the Viper form without any buffs on your champions because the Viper form is going to try to steal your buffs. So you definitely don't want any block debuffs, unprotected block debuffs on your champions. And here I actually placed the block active skills, the poison sensitivity, and the block buffs. And as you can see, the block buffs got extended by Master Hexer first try. So now I can basically just keep extending those debuffs because eventually the block active skills will run out. Now we are at turn count 26. That means we got 27, 28, 29, and then 30 until the Viper form goes back into the other form. Now in the best case scenario, you want your block active skills to run out in the last turn of the Chimera in the Viper form, because then the Chimera won't use any skills anymore. The Viper form will just transform into the other form. That is basically my goal, because then the Viper form is no threat to me and I have absolutely no consequence for not having block active skills on the Viper form. Either way, I'm just going to continue my run here as usual now. I'm going to place all my debuffs that I have. Also, another thing that needs to happen for me to be able to complete this trial is that I need Nekmo to place Brimstone, right? I need him to place the Smite debuff. Otherwise, I won't have enough debuffs to complete this trial. So there's a lot of RNG going on here for me to complete this trial because I just don't have enough debuffs otherwise. But yeah, as you can see here, I'm a little bit cautious with extending debuffs. I'm counting, the amount of turns I have left on the debuffs. I'm looking at my turns. How often can I extend those debuffs so it will run out on the last, turn? So basically the block active skills needs to be at 1 on turn 29. So now I can actually extend it one more time. It's absolutely no problem. On 28 it will be on 2 again. On 29 it will be on 1. And then on 30 it's gone. Now I can't extend it anymore. And here you can see it. We're at turn 29. We got one more turn left on block active skills. It will run out in the next turn. The only issue that I have here is that Brimstone just procced on Nekmo, and I need to proc it again. So here I'm basically now re-debuffing all the debuffs that I need from Lydia, trying to get the HP burn up again. I already had it up actually, but here you can see I procced the Brimstone with Nekmo right on time. There's literally no turn meter left on the Viper form, and I need to deal another million something damage. And here we go. There we got it done with an ally attack from Lady Mikage. And yeah, after the first cycle of Ram, Lion, and Viper form, we completed a total amount of 15 trials, which is pretty good. We could have done another one on the Ram form early, but it just didn't happen. Was a little bit, unlucky with the RNG. I couldn't proc the True Fear that often, so Ninja died a couple of times. But yeah, in the end, it was okay because, we got the 18 trials done. I could have pushed my Clash score even more, I think, if I would have completed those, trials early on the Ram form. And also, couple of times the decreased speed got resisted, which was very unlucky. So that all results in a lower damage score than if everything would place and no 3% would take place. And to be honest, the 3% chance on Chimera does feel like a way higher chance. My Lydia with like 600 something accuracy is getting resisted by the Nightmare Chimera, and that's like more than enough accuracy. But anyway, 269 million damage, 18 trials completed. I also got some mythical mats, which was kind of nice. Here you can see the rewards. Actually, a good chunk of relic mats. 2-star basalt, 74 rare materials, 29 epic, 10 legendary, and 5 mythical. 1 gemstone. Doesn't really matter that much, but the most important part here is definitely, the relic mats. Chimera has been out for like over half a year now. If you have been farming Chimera for months, then at some point the only thing you really care about are the mythical relics, to be honest. So yeah, in the future I'm definitely going to try to target more mythic mats with my Chimera teams, but I think this team is definitely a solid option for me to maintain 8 billion clash points and get a good chunk of relic mats, by completing enough trials, and until I build other champions so I can target those trials that reward mythical mats, which change every week, right? But yeah, now let me show you my new Nekmo build. If you're interested in the other builds, just check out the other video. I have timestamps in there and everything. If you want to know how these champions are built, you can find everything in there. Relics, masteries, blessings, sets, and all that. You can find it in the other video in the description. So this is my new Nekmo build. I have him in a 9-piece Merciless set now. And this is way better than the Relentless 4-piece Merciless set that I had on him before that. The build before was good, don't get me wrong, but this is much better. And the reason for that is that the Relentless set does have a 18% chance to get an extra turn, but each consecutive chance reduces by 45%, and you don't have that on a 9-piece Merciless set. You always have those 15% of a chance to get an extra turn, which is absolutely nuts. I got so many extra turns in a row. It is absolutely amazing, especially if you pair this set with Purge Shadow or Relentless with Purge Shadow. This relic is insanely underrated, especially for Chimera. This relic gives you another 14% chance for an extra turn when using the default skill and one of your active skills is on cooldown. And basically what I do is I use the turn meter boost, then I use the A2 to place a decreased speed and a leech, and then I just A1. And that cost me to get so many extra turns that I can use this again. And in case I already got the decreased speed placed for 2 or 3 turns, I'm just gonna go back to the A1 and then just trigger this relic a couple more times. And that results me in getting more turns. My whole team gets more turns because I can cycle that turn meter boost back more often. So yeah, absolutely amazing synergy. I really love it. Now these are the stats: 54k, almost 55k HP, 4.3 attack, 3.6k defense, 300 speed. That's always what I'm trying to go for. 300 speed. More is better, definitely. 91% crit rate. I can definitely get it up a little bit by ascending this. Can't really hit 100% right now, but I will work on it. But it's good enough for now. 248 crit damage for a little bit more damage. It doesn't really do that much, but it adds a little bit of clash score. And 448 accuracy, which is absolutely fine. You should target like 430 for Nightmare. Now, if I want to use this Nekmo in Ultra Nightmare, I actually have to swap out this crit rate gauntlet because there is no accuracy on it. Basically, I'm swapping it for this one right here, which has more speed and more accuracy. The first or the most important thing that I want Nekmo to do is place his debuffs, and then I can add damage once I got that secured. Also, I did get a pretty decent banner. I got a triple speed roll, but it's an attack banner. If it was accuracy, I could basically hit 500 accuracy already. I do have the accuracy ascension on it, which helps, but the attack is not bad. It also benefits, his damage a little bit. But either way, the accuracy as a main stat would be better, in my opinion. But, it's a triple speed roll on a Merciless banner. I can't really complain about it. So once I got this banner, I changed his whole build to 9-piece Merciless because I was able to maintain the speed and the accuracy as well. So yeah, 18 trials. I'm absolutely happy with that. I got 16 last time on my Ultra Nightmare run from 17 possible trials. So this time I will try to get the 17 trials. Here, I'm not sure if I can get one more trial, if I can squeeze in one more trial. I have an idea, but for that I need the fitting gear. And I do have an idea, maybe I can get one more trial done on Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare, but I have to try it. I'm not sure, and it's probably going to be very hard, but it might be possible. Anyway, for the builds now, the way I have my team built right now, 18 is the maximum amount of trials I can do with this team. Yeah, I'm absolutely happy. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel. Also, hit the thumbs up. It really goes a long way. Also, feel free to ask me in the comment section below if you have any questions. You can also join my Discord. I'm always available there if you have any questions. And yeah, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and see you in the next one.